With 4 months left in the year, there's still plenty of time to get your finances in tip-top shape before 2022. Local financial professional Mike Kojonen shares some helpful money moves you might want to make right now. Mike, good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Erin.
Okay, we're coming off of some serious summer spending. People do spend more in the summer, don't they?
Well, I think this year even more so because, like a lot of people just want to make up for some lost time from last year, not be able to do much at all. So I think we spent more money. A lot of people have this summer. So, with fall here, let's get a new season, a new perspective, a new opportunity with roughly about 4 months left here, end of the year, to finish the year strong, get on track, and let's have a great, good financial 2022.
Yeah. Why is fall a good time to take a look at the checkbook and take a closer look at our finances?
Yeah, well, I have 5 tips here to kind of look at, there's some key points here at the end of the year to kind of look at. Obviously, we want to review your, financial goals. This is a good time here to look at short-term and long-term goals, especially when it comes to Roth conversions for those. As we know what your income is for most of the year, it's a good time to look at doing Roth conversions to maximize these tax brackets. Okay, so that's your short-term goal, is planning these Roth conversions. But why do you do Roth conversions? Well, it's for paying your taxes now, so your money grows tax-free. So it's a better tax situation because we're under these tax reform brackets right now that it's supposed to end after 2025, but it could be sooner. So let's take advantage of those while we can. But also for legacy planning, if you want to leave money behind your children, Roth money is the best money to leave behind because they'll never pay a dime of taxes. And with the Secure Act being passed, I know this is a lot of information, but the Secure Act was passed about 1.5 years ago, went into effect. Your kids have a shortened time to get that money out of those IRA and 401ks accounts, and that could cost them a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. You also say refreshing your spending strategy is a good idea. How do we do that? What might need refreshing?
Well, I think because inflation has hit us so hard this year, it's so much higher. We're paying for it more than at the gas pumps. $3 to over $3 a gallon, but that's affecting our cost of food, our clothing, our services we're paying for. So when we compare what our budget was last year, our spending was last year, and not being able to travel as well, now a more realistic version of what your spending is, let's do an updated budget to make sure it's lining up. And unfortunately, you might have to cut out some of those frills, the coffee runs or some of the other things you're spending your money on, because that's a big talk when people come to our office, is they're spending more money than they were last year. So let's update that budget worksheet. You can get one on my website as well.
Well, yeah, those little luxuries we treated ourselves to when there was nothing else to do.
Yeah. And those free dollars, the extra unemployment dollars for those money's ended too. So that's another reason to readjust it.
Absolutely. You say rebalancing your investment plan is something else you could do this fall. And so give us some ideas here.
Yeah, well, when we look at 1.5 years ago, when the coronavirus bubble came, like the recession, the market lost 34%. And now I'm sure most people have recovered from that as long as you hung in there. But now the market's come up so much further from that, and you're just that much closer to retirement or in retirement. So let's readjust that. Usually it takes longer for the market to recover than what it did. It was really a shock when it happened, but also was a shock how fast it came back up last year. So you should be investing the way your risk tolerance is. And most people don't put 2 and 2 together. You shouldn't be investing what your brother-in-law tells you or your coworker tells you or your friend tells you. You need to be investing how your risk tolerance tells you. Don't invest blindly. You should know what you're investing in and make sure your investments match your number and your risk tolerance.
And even though we're coming off a lot of summer vacations, we might have, holiday trips we want to take or like winter getaways that people are planning. So it's also a good time to think about saving too.
Yeah, save short term, again, long term. So I think saving for each, summer vacation or trip, I think that's important. I think it's so important just to keep those dreams and goals ahead of you. Why are you putting money out of each paycheck into the bank and into your 401k and IRAs? You have to revisit the big dream. I mean, that keeps you focused. I know a lot of people, they come in here, why are we saving so much? Why are we just living paycheck to paycheck? Because all of our extra money is going to some kind of sort of saving. revisit why you're doing this. And I think once you're on vacation, you understand that, or once you're retired earlier or have that lifestyle you attain to have, you're going to understand why you do it. But most people can't do it themselves. You have to get with a professional to make sure that you're going to get there on time. And a lot of times we've had people come in here think they had to work 2, 3, 4 more years. And we can show them you can retire today. And so sometimes it's a saving grace to actually work with a professional that can show them with a plan in place that you can retire sooner.
I like that. Yeah, really what all of this is like getting a jump on those New Year's resolutions. Like, we'll just do them 4 months early. You've given us so many good ideas. Do you have any more that you want to pass along?
Yeah, this is the end of the year. Well, if you're 72 or older, you have to take out your required minimum distribution. So last year we got a pass because the CARES Act was passed because the market was down and you didn't have to take your RMDs. But no more pass this year. If you don't take out your RMDs, if you're 72 or older, you have a 50% penalty of what you're supposed to take out. So if your RMDs are $20,000, you have a $10,000 penalty if you don't get that money out by the end of the year. So you have to make sure you're on top of that. And, there's an art to taking out your money. Just don't take withdrawals. You want to make sure your money's going to last as long as possible. So there's an art to taking out your RMDs. And for those people who don't want the RMDs, but they have to take it, if you're giving to charity, there's a thing called a QCD, Qualified Charitable Distribution. Well, that money can go directly to charity, and you don't have to worry about taking the money out first, pay taxes, and then give to charity, especially if you're not itemizing your taxes. QCDs are great.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. Good stuff as always. Thank you so much, Mike, for your insight.
Yeah, you're welcome, Aaron. Good seeing you again.